So Donald Trump was in Michigan today at a steel plant, and he was supposed to be talking about energy. But he gave a 66-minute speech, and most of the time he was just airing his normal grievances, but he lied his way through most of it. And what was he talking about? Well, for some of his lies, he said he was indicted 9 times. By my count, it's only been four. Five if you count the superseding indictments that just came out with Jack Smith in the D.C. court, where he had to modify his indictment around the Supreme Court immunity decision. And then you've got he said there were 17 different ways to pronounce Vice President Kamala Harris's name. Well, just ask her; she'll tell you there's only one. But he likes to mispronounce her name, and by him claiming there are 17 ways to pronounce it, when people say, "Oh, you pronounced it wrong," he'll just say it's an alternate pronunciation, and it makes him feel better about being able to mispronounce it. One, that way he's not wrong, and two, by mispronouncing his name, he's doing it on purpose as a bully tactic. It's all he's got left. Then he said he was talking about Joe Biden. Says Joe Biden's sleeping all the time. He's back to the Sleepy Joe stuff. The same tired line that he's been trying for 4 to 5 years now, going all the way back to early 2020. But he says, oh well, President Xi of China doesn't sleep, and neither does Kim Jong Un of North Korea. Once again, praising dictators and rivals to the United States, and it is just weird. But beyond that, he was talking about, and we finally got to energy. He was lying again, saying that, well, we're not energy independent. We are. We produce more than we use. And that we import most of our oil from Venezuela, which we don't. Um, but he's just making it up as he goes along. He'll say whatever he thinks is going to work. And then he went back to his only policy, and I use that term very, very loosely here, because he didn't say how he was going to do it or what regulations he was going to slash to make it happen or anything like that. All he said is he is going to cut energy prices, including oil, gas, and electricity, by 50%. We can't survive if he does that. The oil companies would go bankrupt if they had to cut it by 50% because they would be losing money. Same with the electricity companies. They would end up ultimately losing money. They could not survive. Now, if there was some kind of a government rebate or a plan to make it happen where they wouldn't just take on the brunt of the losses, maybe. But you can't just say, I'm going to make it happen, and then tell them to do it with nothing. But he's got nothing. He's just saying it because he knows it's going to be a good soundbite. Um, so, yeah, Donald Trump lied his way through this thing. He's got no plan, no policy, or anything like that. Just says what he wants and goes from there. He's not going to be able to cut our energy by 50%. He doesn't have a plan. And as far as the rest of it, most of the time, I don't even think he knows what he's talking about himself.